All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you today all about the Ulysse Nardin El Toro, one of my favorite pieces to stock in my collection. This is the piece in platinum. It's a perpetual calendar, Ulysse Nardin El Toro. We're also going to talk a little bit about why it's an excellent financial play and why places like Benison here are one of the only few shops that can service a beautiful and elegant piece like this. This is again, perpetual calendar with the GMT and one of my favorite timepieces that is least known in the market. As someone who's been an investor, a collector, and a avid enthusiast for over 15 years, it's hard to beat this piece, and we're going to show you why today. All right, now look at this beauty right here. This is actually the example in platinum. It also comes in rose gold, but the platinum is just insane. You can't feel the weight, but this is exceptionally heavy on the wrist, and one of the reasons that I love this timepiece so much, beyond the fact that it's just so cool to look at. I mean, look at the striations on the dial that are so subtle. Ulysse Nardin is so undervalued and one of the best brands that you can acquire as a collector and an investor, in my opinion, as long as you're buying at the right dollar. These things are fantastic for the watchmaking that goes into this piece. Now, this is a perpetual calendar GMT, and a lot of people, when they first get this piece or any other dual time GMT, don't understand that these are not actually chronograph triggers, because there is no chronograph here. This is a hour set hand to measure and get the GMT properly set, and then you can engage the dual date as well as the month and set all your times so that you never have to set it again as long as it's staying wound. With a perpetual calendar, this thing can actually calculate different types of adjustments in years, and it's just phenomenal. The weight, the balance with the sport rubber is just irreplaceable and something that I love. I've had all different variations of this piece except for perhaps the brown dial, but with the rose gold and the platinum, it just feels great, and it's something that's a conversation piece every time. Now, when you're looking at this Ulysse Nardin El Toro, the case back gives you a glimpse into the beauty of the movement. Here, let me unbuckle this. And it just keeps you interested. I mean, look at the watchmaking that goes into this with the striations and the guilloche on the dial and the rotor and the movement. It's hard to replicate. I love this case back, and I love just staring at it as it does its job. When you're going to set this piece, one of the interesting things is it's still engaged from the crown. So you're going to unscrew this counterclockwise until you hear a pop, very similar to Rolex, and use the crown popping to set it to position 1, which will give you that wind. So if you can turn it, you're starting to set the watch. If you pop it out gently, you'll get to position 2. This is where you can change the date. Now, this rapid changing of the date, if you're turning clockwise, gives you that different month. You see how it jumped to January, right? February, March, and then you can also jump backwards, which is very rare. So you're able to set the date with that mechanism, both back and forward with the counterclockwise and clockwise rotation. When you go out to position 3, that's where you're getting that GMT hand, which is the blue indicator hand, moving with the hour and the minute hand. They changed the long way. You never want to do that while these hands are in the northern hemisphere, just in case the date is trying to change with the long turn. It can damage the mechanism. So make sure you're putting the hands, the hour and the minute hand, in the southern hemisphere, as I always teach you, and you can go from there. Now that this is set, you can put it back to position 1 if you want, or you can screw it back down into the case flush position 0. And these pushers will move the hour hand independently from the other hands so that you can set your dual time zones with the GMT and the hour hand with this beautiful perpetual calendar timepiece. So once you get all your dates, your months, your hour, and your second time zone set, so you could be traveling to London but still keeping track of time in Los Angeles, it's just perfect. And again, when you throw this thing on your wrist, it's a conversation starter. MSRP on this piece is around $69,000 for platinum. And what's fantastic about this watch is there's so much bang for the buck. I mean, in the secondary market, you can probably pick one up for around 25 cents to 30 cents on the dollar. And if you buy slightly below that for these, you'll have an amazing piece that's about a 70K MSRP piece on your wrist that will hold value and potentially even make you some money. You just got to make sure you're buying Ulysse Nardin right. They're not like Rolex, AP, Patek in the market yet, but they are getting more well known over time. I absolutely love the brand. I love this El Toro piece. Again, feel free to check these out in rose gold and platinum. Exceptional option and a great alternative to some of the more boring pieces out there that Rolex has and Omega has when it comes to divers, waterproof pieces, and very, very cool aesthetics like this. The colors look great. You can change the strap, get some different flair in there, and again, you have the sun and moon indicator on the bezel for the 24-hour indication. One of my favorites, lesser known pieces from an investment collection standpoint, and I do hope one day you'll be able to experience this beautiful 43mm piece, especially in a precious metal like platinum or gold. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.